The other day at work, I was performing an ostensibly simple task, but it was proving to be deceptively difficult for me, and as I was doing this work under the critical glare of my employer, I felt I should say something, to explain, not excuse. So I said, "I'm having a hard time with this," and that covered the obvious, which had no interest for him. He replied, "That's because you don't know anything about physics." A big leap from the little thing I was doing, or was trying to do, but it hurt because it was true. Physics is all about the way things work. Physics is the way nature works, and I have never had a head for physics. If my textbook had been Physics for Dummies, I might have had a chance. I got off to a bad start. My first encounter with physics, and boom, there was this guy, Avogadro. I think he was a count of some kind, and he came up with a number. It was a hell of a number, like 6.02436 times 10 to the 24th, and that was the number of molecules in a mole. I blamed all of my problems in physics on the count, Avogadro and his goddamn number, and I never did understand the concept or the value of a mole. A mole is an underground pest. Mole is a Mexican sauce. A mole is a spy inside your own organization. What's up with this mole? When you get off to a bad start like this, a happy outcome is not in the offing. That was in high school. In college, I had to take physics again, and it was worse, like trying to fly after I'd already crashed. I'd study for hours for the tests. I'd memorize all the formulas and try to remain calm, try to apply the formulas. Which one of them has to work? Nothing. I'd scratch out something on the test, hoping for two things: partial credit and that the instructor would grade on a curve. After the test, I would go to a friend who, like my current employer, understood physics, and I would beg him for help, ask if he could show me how to solve the problems. He was very kind and patient. He'd read a question, think out loud for my benefit, and in the course of thinking about it, he would derive a way of solving the problem, which became, like magic, out of nowhere, a formula. It was beautiful and astonishing to watch him work. His thinking had an elegance to it and a simplicity, almost as if he was letting the question, by tinkering with it, solve itself. I deeply admired my friend's ability, but I was never able to match it, not in any way. And when you get a 10 on a test in college, no curve in the world can save you. Newton and Einstein, they both had an innate understanding, a sympathy, really, for the way nature works. Newton took a vacation to escape the plague that was raging in London, went to his rural home, and created his laws of nature, his Principia, whipping up a new way of figuring the calculus to allow him to do it. That's skating on water, I say. Einstein took time out from his job as a patent clerk, wondering essentially if things would work, to set up a series of thought experiments, explorations around the speed of light, and certain consequences stemming from that, which led to several revelations which he called the theory of special relativity, and also a tidy little formula, E equals mc squared, simplicity itself, and we know what came of that. The point is, I say again, that these men understood nature instinctively and the way it works, and my employer does too, and he has no desire to pay the wages of some knucklehead who does not. I don't blame him, but doggone it, I don't hear the music of the spheres. I never have. I doubt if I ever will. Maybe a distant clanking, or sometimes the best I can manage is to hear something like a car horn, warning me to get out of the way. I think this simpatico with physics is a native ability, natural born, like athletic prowess, or musical appreciation, mathematics, cooking, building, what have you. But I could not offer my theory on this to my employer as I struggled to perform what was, for him, an uncomplicated operation. I did get it done in an ungainly fashion, and he continued to stare at me, as he would at a giraffe trying to run a 100-yard dash, or a possum trying to drive a car. Now that I think about it, Count Avogadro was in chemistry class, not physics. It doesn't matter. Both of them were Greek to me, and still are.